Here is a routine to improve not only your aim but also game sense and overall skill level in Valorant. This video is going to be split into two parts, with the first focusing on aim alone and the other on game sense. The first thing you need to do before you start playing is to stretch your fingers, hands, and forearms. Just like any other type of athlete, playing video games puts strain on your body and you need to protect what your mama gave you. There are various stretches you can do to warm up certain parts of your hands and forearms, with some shown on screen. The video on screen is linked in the description, and I personally do these stretches before I play. Do this for 5 minutes or until your hands feel ready. The second thing you should do is some warm up for your aim. Some good ones are Aim Lab's grid shot, spider shot, practicing in the range, or anything where you get used to your sense and how much you need to move your mouse to click heads. You can do this for about 5 to 10 minutes. The next type of training you should do is a tracking task. I personally do the switch track task on Aim Labs. This helps you get used to player strafing and hitting running targets. The ball's switching directions helps with fast reactions and realistic scenarios in which enemies counter-strafe or simply change directions. I would suggest doing this for about 5 minutes. Next, you should shoot moving targets, preferably headshot only, as this causes you to be more poised and is better training. Two methods I suggest are some Aim Labs tasks shown on screen or the moving bots task in the range. We're getting more realistic as the session goes on, and hitting moving targets simulates the aim needed when holding angles, peeking angles, and really getting in any gunfight. You should do this for about 5 minutes. And finally, the most realistic form of training, deathmatch. DMs against real players with differing moving styles, different crouching habits, and different firing techniques is the ultimate training. Implementing different restrictions on yourself is a great way to train as well. Using a guardian or sheriff to practice headshots, or waiting for the enemy to fire first and shooting second teaches the benefits of patience, confidence, and calmness. DMing is the ultimate way to practice, as it's the closest thing to the real deal without the RR on the line. You should do this for about 10 minutes. That's about a 30-minute routine that you can do to steadily improve your aim as you continue playing. And now for the game sense portion of the video. Since raw aim and reactions are only part of the equation, we also need to talk about game sense and how to improve that. Since being spoon-fed is never a good way to learn, every player looking to improve should watch VODs of their own competitive matches. Plays that seem good in real time may be of poor judgment when rewatched later. Your crosshair placement or movement may be subpar, but when playing you don't notice it. Playstyles are easy to notice when watching back a game, and looking at the way you approach certain scenarios can benefit you greatly. Watching your own VODs back is an amazing way to realize how many bad habits you have and what surface level things to improve on. Plays that seem good in real time may be of poor judgment when rewatched later. In the same category as watching your own matches, watch pro play. Professional players do everything for a reason. The angles they clear, the way they peek, the angles they hold are all calculated. Watch professional matches and add what you see to your repertoire. This next bit goes hand in hand with the previous two parts of this portion of the video, and that is asking yourself why after a play. Asking yourself why you did a certain thing, why you peeked like that, why you held that angle, and more in-depth ones like why did we win or lose that round. You should also do this when watching pro matches. Don't take something from pro matches just because a pro did it. You should try to understand what the benefit of doing that is, and is it viable in your ranked matches where your teammates likely don't care as much as you, and no one is of the skill level that pros are. You can ask yourself why during matches as well, and adjust accordingly in whatever way you think is best. My last tip for today is to watch educational Valorant YouTube content. It doesn't necessarily have to be from pro players or big time creators, as everyone has something to share, but take every piece of advice with a grain of salt. Don't believe everything you hear, and test it out for yourself or ask around to see what others think. If you're watching this around when it comes out, I'm currently live streaming on Twitch, so come check me out there.